Okay, hey, it's Christina Merkley, and it's the Process Pop-Up. And I always have to look because I'm one of those people who can never remember what day it is without looking at my calendar. So it is May 17th, and I don't know what number this is. I think it's close to 40 or something. I don't know how many of these we've done. There's been a lot of them. 14 months later. Yeah. Okay. So welcome. And I said this off recording, but I'll just repeat it again. We'll go into 10 minutes of meditation and then just kind of set the field and clear things out and be here. And it's just a real opportunity, since there's so much isolation and stuff going on, to actually use the online medium in a powerful way of being able to connect with each other, even though we're in different geographies and different countries and things. So that'll help us build our field here, and then we'll just see what's present. So I'll ask for reports, which means if there is anything, if you have been here working stuff, it's okay if you haven't, but if you have been, sometimes people like to report on things that are unfolding, right? What's happened from previous process work, or the personal consciousness edge they're working with at, what's, what's unfolding, what's showing up, what's there now. The next thing I ask for is what's arising, right? So what's present now, and that's our entry point into what we'll do the process work on. So with that, we'll come back after 10 minutes. Oops, let me get Cassandra in here. Wonderful, she's coming by. I'll just get her teed up and then we'll slip into meditation. Yeah. Hey, Cassandra, so awesome. I'm so glad you came.
Glad to be here.
I just teed it up. We're going to go into 10 minutes of meditation just to set the field. And then
Okay.
when we come out, we'll just see what's present and we'll just spontaneously find our way with process work.
Sounds good.
Okay. I know you can meditate. Good. Alrighty. Okay. Let me just, I'm going to go on mute myself and set my timer so I don't get lost in stillness, although that's nice to do. And make sure I do 10 minutes, not 10 hours like I've done before. Okay, we're all good. All right. Hey, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for the deliciousness of being able to sit together. We kind of come back. We just find our way to see what's present. We go till we've got about an hour and 40 minutes if we need it, my time. If you need to leave, you can always use the chat and just say your goodbyes. I prefer if people do that just so I know you're okay as you're leaving. So, yeah. And then two things that we usually start with. The first one may not apply because I think all three of you, it's basically your first time here. But we do have connection and inner work that we've done in other ways as well. But the first thing is a report. So if there's anything that's going on in your ongoing unfoldment, inner work, consciousness edge, etc., that you want to share, by all means. And then the third thing, or second thing is what's arising now. So, and it can be anywhere across the emotional spectrum. Sometimes people feel, and understandably, that's applicable. If you're lower down the emotional scale, it's when people often come for processing, but sometimes I have to remember, you know, you can be totally fine. And a lot of people are up on the higher point of the scale too. So whatever emotions or wherever you are energetically is totally welcome. We just find our way in terms of what is here. I'm a visual coach, so I have a whole whack of templates, 40 something templates, depending on what emerges, I can bring up and meet. I also have blank paper, digital paper here with my drawing tablet. Often we're doing a lot of inquiry, which is really just meeting consciousness. That's kind of the fastest route, even though I have a big old 12-hour process to put people through. I can put inquiry, you know, right up against that 12-hour session, and it just cuts to the chase and helps you get your own answers, your own doing and being right from your source. Okay, so with that, let's just see what's present. Are there any reports, and is there anything arising? And then we'll just find our way, what order or what to do or be.
Yes.
Go for it, Anne.
Well, there's lots arising.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, everybody. I'm Anne, and I'm in Joplin, Missouri. And I trained with Christina about 100 years ago and love her dearly. I have wanted to attend more of these sessions, but it just hasn't jived with my schedule as a coach and part-time therapist at a brick and mortar facility. So today was right. And of course, it's perfect because what is arising is Saturday is the 10-year anniversary of the EF5 tornado here in Joplin, in which I lost my home and everything in it. And that set me on just a wonderful journey. And I am actually very, very grateful. So that's where I am on the emotional scale, is high up with gratitude, contentment. Well, let's erase contentment. Because what's coming up is a sense of change, which I've never been afraid of change, but it is circling around probably the biggest life lesson that I'm here to learn after multiple deaths and big changes is the letting go process.
Mm-hmm.
And in addition to the tornado anniversary, my birthday is exactly a week after that event. This one will be my 65th, so it's a big milestone. And I'm launching a creative project, and that was my my choice to do it at this time to symbolically acknowledge that I don't always have to be the tornado girl. I can, it is definitely a part of my story, but it's not the whole book. So I am feeling some unease with physical place and starting to talk in metaphors, feel that the power of the wind again, in terms of the winds of change that I sense are coming.
Okay. Thanks, Anne.
Mm-hmm.
I can feel a little maybe process our inquiry there, at least as a starting place.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm just going to see what else is in the container. And then I've definitely got you down for an inquiry. Peggy, I see you popped in, so I just want to acknowledge you and welcome you. You've been here before, so we're just, we finished meditation and now we're just moving into any reports and then what's arising. So Anne's given me an interesting glimpse of what's arising in her world that we'll turn to soon enough here with inquiry. Good. Anybody else, any other reports, any other arisings? Give me a sense of what's here and then I'll know how to split the time.
Well, joining in physical dis-ease and change and movement. I'm planning a move back to Cincinnati, Ohio from St. Paul, Minnesota, where I thought I'd be living for the next 3 years at least, but cutting that short. So feeling very untethered, not grounded, and open to a lot of things that are evolving. And you brought back a memory, Joplin, Missouri. I lived in Cape Girardeau, Missouri for 6 years. So I'll ground with you in Missouri a little bit in the Ozarks, fond memories there. I'm 65, turning 66 this year in a couple of months. And I feel like I'm 40 mentally. There's just so much going on. It's like where 20 years go. This gap, it's like it just disappeared. And as we were sitting, what came to me was all of the young women I've been working with over the past 18 months here in Minnesota at the Department of Human Services. And some are very new, just starting their careers, and some are 5 to 20 years in. And so several of them came. And so and an old friend from my yoga community, who was the youngest in the group, she surfaced. And so I'm curious about that. And as I've got tons of projects in my head with different directions to go, but wanting to know why they're here today with me.
Cool. Maybe inquiry there too. I can feel that. Thanks, Cassandra. I think Peggy's having problems with her connection, phone and audio, so we'll see if she drops back in. Wendy, anything you want to share? It's not necessary if you don't care to, but just checking.
Thanks, Christina. I guess nothing specific that's sort of arising. I just felt like I needed to reconnect with this work again around the visual, and I just haven't done that much of it in the last while. So I felt like this, if I can at least sort of be hearing and seeing and connecting with folks in this world again, it would sort of get me going in that area, and sort of almost force me to create some time to practice, which I know, as you keep saying, that's always the challenge, is making sure you know, keeping the practice going and that kind of thing. And it's definitely fallen off the last year or so. So I'm hoping to
well, feel free to sketch as we go along too, right? So Yeah, because I'll do really basic because I'm leading as well. My notes will be really basic. So you're certainly welcome to graphic record.
Perfect. And
Yeah.
I'm happy to see Peggy. Peggy was in my last class with me, so nice to see a familiar face.
Cool. We'll see if you're out. Can you hear us now? Yeah. Okay. I see the nod. Yeah. Peg, anything that you want to share? We're just doing reports or just what's arising to get a sense. I think we have at least 2 inquiries. You're muted. I could see a head nod or head shake.
Okay. Yeah, everything is okay here, I guess. I just got in from a long bike ride, so I'm happy just to.
Okay.
If there's other stuff, I'm happy to be a participant who listens.
Yeah. Holding the container, part of the field holding. Excellent. Okay. Thanks, Peg. Okay, so I'm just thinking I'm going to go in the order that things showed themselves. So I'm going to do a screen share and just bring up my drawing tablet. And
May I ask a quick question, Christina?
Yeah, please, Cassandra.
And it's to Wendy. I'm so fascinated by her background. Is that a photo or is that your actual place?
I had to ask her that the first time I saw it too.
Yeah. This would be my ideal office, my happy place.
Okay.
It is just
Yeah.
a picture. Yeah, this was one of the things that attracted me to Christina's work was the colors and the visuals and stuff. And so I thought this was kind of appropriate. So,
I love it.
yeah, maybe one day this will be my real background, but not today.
Okay.
It reminds me of a woman who often comes here. Some of you know her, Kristen, and her background manifested is interesting how things can pop into view. So we'll see what happens with you. It starts with that wish and saying it a couple times and then kabamo. Okay, hopefully you can see Anne, can you see it in everybody? Yeah, I'm just gonna rearrange myself a little bit and you'll just have to, you'll adjust very easily, but you know, my head will be like this and various things, but just know that my heart is feeling you and I'll look up and occasionally be able to see you directly. We're just gonna do inquiry. And so when I work with Anne, everybody else, sometimes inquiry is a little strange to look at from the outside until you actually do one yourself to understand what's going on in the inside. But I'm gonna be suggesting as Anne meets whatever is arising in her, and you may have a lot of parallel processing. We're hearing a little bit with the check-ins, right? That there are some themes here. So when I work with one person, there may be parallel processing that happens for others. And sometimes there might not be. And sometimes you might be doing the visual kind of thing, right? Looking at what I'm doing visually or looking at what I'm doing from the process side of it, right? We have different parts of our being, so they're all welcome here. Just goodwill for the person who's doing their work. So, Anne, I'm gonna, have you seen any of it's okay if you haven't, but if you've seen any of videos of me doing inquiry, you might have a sense of what's coming. Yeah. Yes. So I'm just, it's like we have a big coffee table between us, right? Yes. And I'm just putting things on the coffee table and you kind of pick them up and kind of apply them inside. So there'll be these different phrases and things I'll say, and you're just kind of saying them, you're just turning them inside and you're offering them inside. And then it's kind of interesting because stuff happens as we do this, right? And so you're guiding me, right? Consciousness through the form of you is showing itself to us. And so I find it always exciting because I never know what will happen either. So, and I get taught all the way along. Yeah. So as you just kind of settle in and breathe, and it's okay, it could be a thought, it could be a feeling, it could be emotion, words, I don't know what it is, but what's most present? What's most kind of right here, right now for you?
What's really present is the secret project that I'm getting ready to launch, which is called Sea Sisters Spirit Dolls. And yes, I'm purchasing, I don't know if you can see, this is the armature for the doll. And then I've purchased clay faces from two different artists, and they get applied and clothes laid over, etc. And I received just today two similar faces that I plan to use. They're polymer clay.
Oh, wow.
Aren't they beautiful? And here's a smaller version. And so the spirit dolls will honor each of the elements, each of the seasons. And so we start obviously with summer and the element of water. And the Sea Sisters is the main brand, but they will have friends. And so I'll also be doing some for...
See, like SEA, Sea Sisters?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
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 Okay.
And so I'll be doing some for the seasons and some familiar, like Old Man Time, Mother Nature. And I see this face is Mother Nature. But the second one, because of the tornado, what has come to me is to do a doll in homage to that experience. And her name will be Rooted. And yeah, I get emotional about that.
Yeah, so let's just meet that. Yeah.
Yeah, claiming your space, right? Yeah.
Can I ask you to put a my on it instead of a your, claiming my space?
Claiming my space, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so we're just going to meet all this beautiful that's just unfolded here, right? So, and I'm hearing like if there's yes as opposed to aversion. Maybe there might be a little bit of aversion in the tornado, but to start with, it's just a yes, please to the secret project, not so secret now. Spirit dolls, Sea Sisters, yes to elements, to seasons, and there's that tornado, and so hello. And just welcoming all of it. You're welcome here, Secret Project. You're welcome here. Let me get Avani in here. You are welcome here, Avani, if I can find my mouse. Okay, there's a woman coming in. Yeah. Oops.
And this,
And she's gone.
you know, the other piece, of course, is launching the second half of my life, you know? Which I'm very excited about.
Sorry, there was a woman who came in and then she disappeared. So I got a little distracted. So, and we'll see what happens. She'll probably do the same thing and make it back in. Okay, good. So from here it came to just before we go, I just want to do it proper because we're moving fast. Let's go to the tornado. We just welcomed the Spirit Dolls and the Sea Sisters and the Secret Project, but the next thing that showed itself was their tornado. And just given that there's so much going on for you with the 10th anniversary of losing your home to the tornado, and the emotional came up, right? So, and just you are welcome here. Hello, tornado. It happened.
Yeah.
It showed itself, and it's been all sorts of things. Some yes, some no. So just take a moment to welcome the tornado. And welcome both the yeses and the nos to it, because there's going to be stuff that, funny enough, like you said, came out of it that you're yes to.
Oh, absolutely.
And there's parts of it that are no too. There's aversion, understandably, to that powerful force in nature. So also welcoming the no, right? There's partial on either side. And from the tornado connected to the Sea Sisters is the rooted, right? The particular sister of rooted. And that being about claiming space, my space, and helping other people with their space. And then from there, you went to this, hey, this second half of my life is emerging. Hello, you are welcome here.
I'm also getting it's long been in my mind as some kind of writing project, or I don't know if it's an actual Facebook group, but something around the idea of creating community sanctuary.
Okay. Yes, please to that.
Yes.
You can just invite that sanctuary, community sanctuary, just inviting it to expand, stretch out. It's going to be there in a certain place in your field already, but it's consciousness. So we can kind of do a little, hey, you can get bigger if you want. You can expand if you'd like.
Yeah.
Probably the system got understandably a little shocked with the tornado and the yeses and nos and everything connected. And there's still ongoing play happening from that. But the shock is kind of settling and coming down, and the treasures have been showing themselves. And so as that kind of recalibrates, that leaves some room for some things to kind of get reshifted around.
I think especially after this year of quarantine and, you know, people feeling distanced.
Mm-hmm.
And so as you have been supporting them, you know, in their grief about change, but looking at the yes of how to still be connected, you know, through technology, etc. The handwritten letter, which is a program I've started with Doodling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So welcoming that. So as you invited that writing project to expand a little, then there was, and I don't know, it might be mind. So mind might be connecting some dots here, but it's going, hey, quarantine, and hey, distance, and hey, what you've been doing here, process pop-up wise. And I'm doing things in my world and finding ways to help people, like this letter project.
Yeah.
Just do a kiss to mind too, because mind's tracking, intellect's tracking.
Mm-hmm.
Just gonna draw a little brain.
Mm-hmm.
And you're welcome here, intellect.
Mm-hmm.
And it's right, as it's been calculating all these things.
I just got, my heart's like, well, wait a minute, don't forget me.
Mm-hmm. Yes, please. Yeah, because heart's been so present all the way along. Intellect just popped up there. So hello, intellect. And hello, sweetheart. Yeah, we're not going to forget about you. And kissing heart too. Heart has a mind and the mind has a heart.
Yes.
Just seeing it as you meet heart and mind and how they come together on this project,
Yes.
how they come together within you.
It's definitely shift in my space, because one thing that I've learned through the quarantine is I'm more of an introvert than I thought I was.
Mm-hmm.
I love being at home. I love being with my cats. I love having the peacefulness. And I've been very grateful that I haven't had, you know, screaming children running around needing to be tended to 24 hours a day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, welcome that, because that's what's next showing itself, right? The introversion, the quiet, the peace, how much you've enjoyed it.
It has been my sanctuary.
Oh,
Yeah.
beautiful. Yes, there's
Yeah.
that word again, sanctuary. Yeah, so just a big yes, please. Yes, please. We've liked that. We're grateful.
Yeah.
We're appreciative.
and I want more of that.
Mm.
So I just said to a friend yesterday, I want to create the second half to be all about doodling and dolling.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah.
So say yes, please to that.
Uh-huh.
Yes, please to doodling. Yes, please to dolling. Good idea. Good idea. We like that. Just inviting it to take up a little more space in the room. Again, it's consciousness, right? This aspect of you with the doodling and the dolling. And as the
Yes.
mind and the vision and everything is coming on line with that, just the beingness of it, just like, hey, stretch out, take up some more room, lie down, root down. Just see, it'll know how it wants to do it. It might be up, it might be down, it might be out. Just see how it
Yeah,
responds.
it's definitely out in that it is a accumulation of all of my skills that will be blended for this next half. So there's a prosperity, no, but yes, in that the intellect is saying, hey, you're not going to finish out your life with any more money selling dolls, right?
Okay. Yep. I get what just happened. So let's meet this because it happened quick. The accumulate this goes to accumulation and blend of my skills. So that's a yes, please.
Yes.
And then doubt came up through the form of intellect,
Yes.
right? And it was also connected to money.
Yes.
Okay. So hello. Just welcome that aspect. It's a polarity. So as you swung over to that polarity, now the other side's arising. And thank it for its service because it's some
Yes.
sort of protective kind
I
of part.
do, and then I'm going to send it down the road with a sugar cookie, and because I don't have time for that. Doubt is, I can appreciate doubt's willingness to get my attention, but really she's not very much fun to play with, and she just needs to move along.
Well, you're being a little harsh with doubt, so I'm going to invite you to try something that might be a little different.
Give her a sugar cookie. That's not harsh.
That's a step. Yeah. How about a hug? How about deep
I don't know. She's not wearing a mask.
Yeah. So now let's just try this again because I can feel it in it. Everything likes respect. Everything likes to be honored and seen and respected. Doubt is something different than what it appears on the surface.
Okay.
So just to take a moment, I can kind of feel it like this big monolith, and doubt's in a lot of people, right? So it's a big thing for the human species. Some of this is personal, some of this is impersonal, right? So you're meeting right now through you and what you're bringing forth, you're meeting doubt for all of us. So just take a moment as you're kind of standing in front of it, just to do a little bow. If you meet anything that's big and ancient and kind of massive, as it is in the human species, and you gave it a sugar cookie, but it kind of seems a little small. You know how in India they have the beautiful temples, I guess.
Yeah.
And offerings are left. Beautiful garlands and wreaths and incense.
The lotus flower. Because hopefully when she finds her true sanctuary, she'll blossom.
Oh,
But it's
yes.
not with me. It's not with me, but she'll find it.
So wishing, if I'm understanding what came up here, is that you're offering and wishing to doubt that it have its own realization.
Yes.
It have its own through the mud to the blossoming,
Yes.
to the liberation. Wow. That's a heck of a lot better than a sugar cookie. That kind of compassion, that kind of, I want the best for you. I want you to have realization too, for you to be happy and have your joy. Yeah. Just see how doubt responds to that. Probably hasn't had that in a while. Most people do other things to it. So how does doubt respond to that?
She's happy. She's surprised.
Nice.
She's
Yeah.
inspired.
Mm-hmm.
She's ready to continue on.
Yes, please. Yeah, continue on. There's the theme. So yes, please. Good idea. Just see what happens as she continues on with that lotus flower in her hand or draped around her or whatever it might be.
So as soon as she walks away, the intellect comes in and says, well, that was all great, but now it means you really have to do your work.
So thanks, intellect. Another little kiss to the intellect, because that's they're kind of they're office managers, right? They're little
There you go.
They're a little dry, right? Because they're very task oriented, and we always want to respect them because their survival, right? That's how we.
Well, yes, I've got this deadline, and I've got responsibility. I made this commitment, so yeah. Stop baking sugar cookies. Get to work.
The doer.
Except it's not work. It's joy. It's fun. It's play. And it's peace. And it's creativity expressed.
So say yes, please, to that. Good idea.
Yes.
Just see how intellect may respond.
He's like, that's cool. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Just allow more of it.
Good.
Okay.
Good idea. Yes, please. That's what you came in with, the more. I want more.
Right.
Now intellect saying, okay, just allow more of it. So we're just going to invite all that to expand. It sounds like intellect actually gave it permission, because it's starting to see how that actually does equate to keeping you safe and keeping you happy, and no doubt it being connected with income and money. So inviting joy and play and peace and creativity expressed. Hey, you can take up more room. There's a recalibration that's happening here. There's a partnership emerging with that left brain. That office manager is given permission. And it'll know if it wants to, again, how it takes up more room. Stretches out or rises up or roots down or expands. What's its pleasure? It'll guide you. Or if there's any other things happening, like but's emerging.
It's the expansion of publicly claiming my spiritual path.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Publicly claiming my spiritual path.
Mhm.
Yes, please. Good idea.
In conservative Bible Belt, Missouri.
Mm-hmm. So two sides, another polarity. So you're going to welcome them both. There's the yes to the claiming. And there's a no, there's an aversion because there's some sort of fear around, I'm going to guess, reception, right? Yeah, reception in where you are, Bible Belt, Missouri. And so just do a little come here to that part that's afraid. This is a little orphan rescue potentially. And just be real sweet with it and be your big spiritual self and just extend an arm out. And whoever is worried about the neighbors, just bring those aspects of yourself close and it's okay, I got you. Come here, you're safe. And they may have buzz, or they might be saying something, so just see, or that might settle it.
Yeah, they're just kind of laughing because they're like, well, we were just testing you. We know that you're
Okay.
all right.
Okay, good.
You're at the age and stage now where it doesn't really matter what
Excellent.
people think. You'll find the right people that are in alignment with this.
Good. Thank you to that.
Yes, I did. I don't know if you could see it through with the glare, but I just got my stickers for my gift bags. And so the goddess figure I put into a Facebook group that's helping me craft all this, 2 different logos. And one was the traditional ocean waves, for the sea spirit dolls. And everybody loved that one. And I looked at these, it literally is a crafting group. And so without too much judgment, but just recognizing our differences, they all loved the traditional one with the ocean waves. So I chose this one because this is going to help me.
It reminds me of your life preservers work too. It's kind of a continuation, exactly. Huh? Yeah, that theme still present. Wow. Yeah. Suddenly, yeah. So yes, please to that. And yes, please to that was also, it seemed like consciousness showing you, here's an example of people from that community where you actually found a way. You found a way to connect and you found a way that kind of spoke to them and they gave you feedback on the stuff that worked. So just a yes, please to yes, that's like evidence, so to speak.
Right.
About this, it doesn't matter. You'll find people who are lying. See, just like these ones, just like that example. Yeah. Sweet. Just check. I think we're here. There's a nice, nice little hum, but just see if anything else consciousness wants to throw over to you. You can continue to meet this, but anything else?
No, it feels good. And it's also looking at this unfolding, there's some, the nod to the intellect again, in terms of here's some literally language for my
good
webpage, for my sales page, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So how practical. Well done, intellect and mind. Yes, you can harvest this. Here's language for the sales page. Excellent.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's a good marriage happening there.
Yeah, it feels really good.
Yeah, and that, that it can be a little pissy, that bureaucrat up there, but they like jobs. So you just, this is a nice marriage because when here you go. Oh, I can work with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Thank you.
And the idea of that, one other thought real quickly.
Yeah.
That idea of retirement never, never been in my consciousness, really. I've always said, as long as I can still talk and type, why would I want to stop, right? So,
Okay, so
so
just
it's
a
the
just a yes
reinvention.
to that. Oh, good, good.
Yeah,
Why would I stop?
yeah, keep being of
No,
service.
reinvention. Good. So
Yeah,
yes, please, reinvention. Yeah, not retirement, reinvention.
yes,
Yes, please. Yeah, that was needed. That's so important. That's a perfect place to
yeah,
include. Yeah, and just inviting reinvention to take up more space, to rise up, root down, expand, nestle in. Yes, please. You are welcome here. Reinvention, reinvention, reinvention. And a little homage to the tornado that helps with reinvention.
yes.
On the anniversary, on the 10th anniversary. Yes, we know how to reinvent.
You bet.
Mm-hmm. Powerful at it.
Yeah.
Beautiful, super cool. Look forward to
You.
hearing this. Keep us posted. Yeah,
I know, I will.
good. Thanks, Anne.
Thank you.
I'm going to give this a little save, and
Good.
this will end up, it'll be sent out by email, so you'll have it.
Thank you.
And I'll color it up a
treasure
little bit. Yeah.
I think,
Map's not the territory, it's inside you, but gives you a
yes,
little
no,
memento.
but I appreciate that. And I think so often of our in-person training, and my very first one at the wall, and you kept coming up saying, draw bigger.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Well, look at you now.
yeah.
Yeah. You did it. Okay, you can use the chat if there's anything that you want to share with Anne. And then if there's anything happening parallel processing, Cassandra, I'm particularly feeling you because you're up next. So sometimes these things will piggyback on each other, right? So there might be parallel processing, and then we just dovetail right into whatever's emerging for you. Let's get you unmuted and see if there's anything that you'd like to start with. Reinvention, yes, please.
Reinvention, tornadoes, destruction, creation, all of the above.
Yeah.
I've been working with Christina for a while, so the work I moved to Minnesota to do was discontinued due to budget cuts, but it was specifically related to racism in Minnesota and the inability of the organization to accept my gifts and why they hired me. So still healing that wound of making a decision to give service to the foster care system. My career had been in corporate America. So knowing the games and how to play them and being extremely skilled in project management and large-scale project initiatives globally, I thought I had an opportunity to contribute to the foster care system and the redesign of it for children. And I came here and I learned more about how the system is more interested in perpetuating itself and how the funding goes to perpetuating the system and not to strengthening families and children. With budgets that are 55% overhead, things that in corporations we would look at and definitely see as problematic. So now I find myself moving into an area of advocacy um, for systemic equality, inclusion, bringing the people that are being harmed by systems to the table to help define the next steps. And I just joined a board, my term, which is a discrimination advocacy group that's already submitted a bill to change the amount of time between an act of discrimination to move it from, I think it's 3 years in Minnesota, to give a 10-year window. And I can see why, given once you work through your own personal trauma around it, you need time to decide if you're going to act on it or not, and at what level you want to act on it so that your whole life isn't captured in that trauma. So I'm in the midst of moving back to Cincinnati because my furniture's still there. Thanks to COVID, I never really fully moved. And then trying to set my direction on what's next, but it seems to be writing, advocacy, teaching. I never wanted to be a teacher. My mother was a teacher. I graded enough papers and did enough report cards and plan books for her that as a kid growing up,
There's a no thank you.
never wanted to be a teacher, but I find myself in the unique position of being a teacher, a sage, and one receiving direction from beyond, particularly for the African American community, and a charge to ensure that African Americans are still on the planet. I don't know why all of a sudden my phone is blowing up. I've had 2 calls. African Americans are on the planet at the turn of the next century, which is a huge, huge piece that came to me in 1999 as a charge. But I'm like, there's no way African Americans are not going to be on the planet. And now we face COVID and all the systemic racism and other things that could make that come true if we don't shift our focus to all of humanity.
I'm just gonna do a pause.
Okay.
Let's meet all this.
It's overwhelming.
Let's meet it all. Yeah. So we're just gonna take it. I've been step by step note taking as we're going along, and it's a big bubble, right? And it's leading to sage and receiving direction from beyond. And yes, please, African Americans on the planet still. Yes. And so all this, because you're wrapping up things, you're leaving, you're processing, there's so much going on, right? So let's go to the first bubble, system perpetuating itself. Just agree with it. You're right. We don't like it. No, thank you. There's a big authentic no thank you in that. Yeah. And there's, I can see it in your face too, the hurt, the pain, right? You came, yeah, I could just, so let's meet that too. Yeah.
Thought I was healing that over the last few weeks.
Well, you are.
Just taking time for myself.
Yeah, it's a big thing.
There's still pain.
Yeah, yeah.
And the clear message of not belonging.
Yes, that's the, yes, yeah. So let's not rush, let's take time. Hello,
and a part of that not belonging is because of my African features, and because my brain is white, but I'm not. Now I show up and move in the world isn't appreciated.
Yeah. So you're just meeting all of that, and it's an agreement. And there's an agreement because that's what happened. And there's a big no thank you. There's a huge authentic no. to the systemic system, you know, perpetuating itself and that whole setup, and then to the rejection of yourself and to the not belonging, and also do a little reach, the spiritual self, right? Because that not belonging, there's morphins there, so bring them close, right? All those other younger parts. Yeah.
And all of the brown girls
Yes.
who don't have European features, who are made invisible and their contributions misappropriated.
Yes. No, thank you. No, thank you. And then just being the big mama to those ones that are your younger yous or past life yous, whatever that might be. And then also, because you're in this sage role, right? You're in this leadership role to these younger women from that system and wanting to shepherd and steward and assist. And you know that they're having that too. And so that other arm just extending to them, those other young women and their orphans and their now selves, right? And just the compassion, the heart, come here, kind of bring them close.
And in those systems, they're not just Black women, they're white women, they're Native American women, they're Asian women, all being controlled and not allowed to bring
Right.
the beauty of their souls and their work and their passion with them, but just to have a job, to feed their families, they're put in positions of complacency.
Yeah, this is the whole matrix, the whole setup, even there. Yes. And we don't like it. No, thank you. Even enough, like get really big, right? So your heart's big, body big, tall, and like, no, thank you.
No, thank you.
Enough. I just gotta, and this, I don't know if this is the chief, right? But I got the, like a staff being on the ground, right? Like, no, thank you.
Now look what the politicians did to McCain this week, taking her out of her position as leader of the party just because she won't go along, but because she speaks the truth. Women can't speak their truth. We are all, humanity is doomed. Humanity is doomed.
Now go, and this might be spiritual self, right? But go bigger, invite it to expand. Because at this level, at the orphan level and at the woman level, as you're connecting with her, that system seems understandably big, right? However, you got to go bigger. You got to go bigger than the system. So just rise up. Yeah. And Cassandra and I got the Kundalini thing going. So if Cassandra moves, just like I will move. So yeah. And this is great because you're really tapping into that energy and you're going bigger. Go big, rise up, root down, 10 stories, 10 miles, however big you need to get, because you're up against a system. Yeah, you got to go really big to be able to.
The ocean.
Yes, please. Yeah.
As big as the earth.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Super, super big. And occupy that, embody that size. And then you go to the system, right? From that size. And then enough.
It's a sphere. It's a very small system.
Okay, very good. So you can feel its smallness and you can feel its fear. What else do you notice?
It's rooted in power seeking, controlling male energy.
Mm-hmm. Yep, not necessarily men, but that yang energy, huh?
That which can't be and give life.
Mm-hmm. And feeling coming from that big embodied place. What happens? What's the words to speak? What's the action to take? And aware of the heart as I'm drawing the body, that planetary body as big as you are. What's the heart? What's the intellect as you look at that system and you recognize
We are
things?
creators. We hold the feminine energy, the creative energy that will give birth. We see life in everything, impossibility in everything, and yet we're subjugated to silence.
Yes, please.
Women
The
have
feminine.
to come together.
Mm-hmm.
We the division is intentional.
Mm-hmm. Say no thank you to the division.
No, thank you.
Enough. No thank you.
No, thank you.
And yes to the coming together.
Yes, women build community.
Mm-hmm.
Women build spaces for others, communal spaces. We have to care, not just for our own, but for all.
Yes, please.
Yes. And how to do that? How do I bring that message and the work? What is the work and how do I bring it together for women?
Now that was that. Now that's an intellect, and that's understandable. So Cassandra's mind and intellect is going, okay, well, what do I do? So from that embodied place, see what the answer is.
Is working with both, with all, not just the African American community.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't just focus in one area. The work has to be across all the boundaries.
Across all boundaries. Yeah.
Across the false boundaries,
Uh-huh.
the superficial boundaries, the systemic boundaries created
Mm-hmm.
to keep us apart.
Yep. Beautiful. Anything else that it wants to communicate to the intellect and the mind? Because Cassandra's at a crossroads here, right? Moving from one stage to another, and understandably the mind is like, what's next? What do I do? How do I be? And from that large planetary embodied large place, right? What do you say to Cassandra down there in her mind?
I want to be grounded. I need to be
Okay, excellent. Thank
grounded,
you.
but that's not where I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to not be grounded.
Oh,
No.
okay. Okay, so the personality self is wanting grounding, and you're seeing from up there, it's like, no, it's not about grounded. Am I right? Am I tracking you right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So just lots of, go ahead.
I want home. I want to figure out where I'm going next and create space for me there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm feeling like I'm not gonna have space in one place.
So I'm going to flip flop you back into the big, right? Because we're working with the polarity of big and small, and like spiritual self and personality self or earth self. And I'm just feeling myself, lots of compassion for personality self, right? Who's down there in that system, that small system with its fear and control, right? Who's got her personal history, who's got community history, and is understandably going like, what do I do? How do I operate? So feel the, if it's there, I'm guessing it's there because I can feel it, feel that big love, right? From that large, empowered, planetary self for the one who's down on the earth, needing to go through this move, who's moving from this system that she didn't belong to and she was in a way rejected from. Feel that come here, come here. Feel that love, feel that.
There are many places I'll be walking.
Say it again, I missed it.
There will be many places I will be walking.
Okay, beautiful, thank you. Anything else you want to share?
Growing bigger, growing up to be bigger, to be seen, be heard.
Good. What else? Is also you're channeling, and I'll just take the notes, channeling from that larger perspective. If you're in this process of growing bigger, of being seen, of being heard, there's going to be many places you will be welcomed.
I want to be seen.
Yes, please.
I'm small and the more I'm seen, the more I don't belong.
So
That's important.
yeah, you're in the small. That's okay. You're going back and forth between small and big. So I want to see how the big responds to the small. So she's down there and she's small and she doesn't want to be seen because seen is going to mean that she doesn't belong, and understandable given the history.
This is what you came to do.
Yeah. Whew.
You
Goosebumps.
don't get to be small.
I got that this is what you came to do. I missed the other one.
You don't get to be small.
Oh.
This is what you came to do.
Yeah. Understandably, there's a desire to collapse into that. Anything else that wants to be shared with the small self from that larger perspective?
You learned the last few weeks that decisions made today impact 7 generations.
Mm-hmm.
You can't stop.
Mm.
Decisions made today will carry for 248 years.
Mm.
You have to disrupt
You
the
have to
decision makers.
okay. Ooh,
You
mission.
need new decision makers.
What was it about the decision makers?
They have to be disrupted.
Okay, disrupted. Got it.
We need new decision makers,
Yes, please.
light bearers,
Mm-hmm. Yes,
making
please.
for all of humanity.
Mm-hmm.
We need to heal the wounds, heal the genocide. Everyone belongs. Even you.
Oh, yes. See if there's anything else that wants to communicate. Doing beautifully.
It just goes back to all the young women
There they are. Yep.
that they all belong.
Oh, yes, please. Good.
Whew.
Just take your time. I'm gonna draw some of the young women.
Okay.
Wow. When you go big, and that gives a different perspective. Yeah. Just see, I think we might be there, Cassandra, but just see if what's present, because there might be more work with the small. See how the small responds to the big's message.
I'm feeling less anxiety about finding housing right away.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
That's a good sign.
less anxiety about trying to leave this week. I think I just feel less anxiety.
So there's been a dissipating of something there. There's a little bit of like, where am I going to live and when do I leave? Right. So that's going on. So go big and see what big says about that. It's understandable that small, that the earth self would have those kinds of logistical concerns. Yeah.
Not now. It's done.
It's done.
Yeah, it's done. Biggest done.
Oh, the big is done. Is that what you mean? So you can't get any more? Ah.
It's like I'm ready for a nap.
Yeah. Well, that's a big presence. Yes. Okay. And let's just see with you, ready for nap. So that's relief too. And just see if there's anything else that you're in touch with as your inquiry comes to a close here. Less anxiety. So that would mean more what? If it's not anxious, it's what?
I feel more grounded. I'm in my body
Mm-hmm.
instead of not feeling it.
Yep.
I'm okay with
Mm-hmm.
not knowing.
Yep.
or not having a plan. The
Yep.
planner doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
In
everything
the
is
now.
moving, yeah, where it
Mhm.
should.
Okay, good.
Um,
Everything is moving where it should.
the me and me
Mm-hmm.
is still aware of, you know, normal things like income and stuff like that, but it's happening. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um,
It's happening.
and I hope I'm not being delusional.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's a little bit of doubt. So you just kiss doubt. Offer something sugar cookies. Yeah. 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 Normal stuff. It
Yeah,
tags
keep things in
human
balance.
beings. Yeah. Yeah. It's coping and mechanism. It's just deep love. It loves you. So, the doer, the planner, likes to have that stuff all tidied up because that's how it's served. That's how it serves us. That's how it's shown its love and looked after us. And it's done a good job. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, hon. Just see if there's anything else as a closing statement. I think we're there for what wanted to unfold today. And
Trust
just
the process.
okay, yeah, trust the process.
Trust the process.
And just
I-
hugging that earth self, hugging the personality self, like because it's our personality selves are normal earth. We have to, we got a different perspective. We got our fears, we want our doings, we want to have it nice and tidy. Yeah. And so just lots of compassion, lots of hugs, lots of come here. Yeah, I know
And Lady Leo
like
requires
it.
a lot of care. So it's
Yeah.
Wait a
Yes, to
minute.
care. Yeah.
It's more than sleeping in my car. It's, can I get a 4-bedroom condo?
Oh, okay. So that's good. So that was just reassuring. It's like, okay, we're not talking we're going to be living on the street here. It's just a matter of levels of our luxury.
Right.
Yeah. That's good
Well,
news.
it's
Good
what
news.
what I need to create.
Bless you. Yeah.
What I need my space to be creative.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's the piece of work I need to do separately, which is tying what I need to what I produce. For some reason, I'm giving up a bunch of phlegm here, so let me come back.
Little releasing going. Yeah. Mm.
I call that my inflammation dump. Just a big clear fluid.
Shifting from that big perspective to that little perspective, right? There's a lot of clearing that just happened, a lot of moving,
Yeah.
letting it go.
Thank you.
Thanks, Cassandra. To be continued.
You.
Yeah. I'm going to give this a save. I'll come back and do a little more to that. Color and connect some of the dots there. And let's just see what's present. You can use the chat if there's anything you want to share. I think that's been happening in the chat already. Yeah. And let's just, let's see, Peg, I see you popping up.
Yeah,
Yeah, I just, I really honor that process, Cassandra. That's so, so much work done in a short space of time. And I recognize that feeling of not belonging. And I also, the desire to be grounded, and yet realizing that there are things that you have to do, and to in your spiritual self and fully grounded, and not doing the things is hard. There's just a lot of contradictions that go on, but man, that was beautiful to watch. And I just feel like you'll find your home, and that home will be everything that you envision it to be. It's different, it's changing, it's changed from what it maybe once was. It just feels really solid to me somehow after that session. So yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, baby.
Never know who's going to show up.
And what's going to happen? It's always amazing. Yes. I'm just seeing there's still 30 minutes or so left. So, and we can always wrap early too, if that's what wants to unfold. But I just kind of got to, I feel something. So I don't know who it's coming from, but I feel a little chunk of something to work. Yeah. So let me know if I'm right in feeling that. Otherwise, we'll just pass around the mic and we'll do closeout. It might come through that form too. Okay, let's just pass around the mic and we'll see what happens. So just any closing statements, anything out of, we come, we meditate, something happens. So this is what happened today, right? And it's amazing every time. And so there's always a different configuration of people. Even if you've come before, there's a different you that's going on, right, in the now. And then the unfolding, the piggybacking can often happen, which we had here today in terms of some similar themes and resonances. And also this continuing to unfold process, right? So there's, work is such an inadequate word, but anyway, the work gets done and it has a ripple effect. And that's why we open up with reports, right? Because if you swing back in the future, we may hear the reports from this incredible work that was done today. Totally not necessary to happen. We trust the process with what happens here, but it's always lovely to have people return and hear the reports from the powerful work that continues to unfold. We'll just pass around the mic. And so given what occurred today, anything about how it lands for you, anything you want to share with anybody else, and just complete for today. Anne, I'm going to go to you first, if that's okay.
Yes, I'm grateful. I appreciated the process, and yeah, I love the similar themes, and it just reinforces for me that I am on the right track, and I welcome all the future opportunities.
Yes,
And I am also seeing Wendy back in this work and expressing her creative self as
well. You can feel her there. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, please.
Yeah. So thank you.
Yeah, thank
May
you for
we
coming.
all find our personal sanctuary.
Yes,
And be
please.
rooted in it.
Yes.
As it shifts and grows and expands.
And reinvents. Yeah.
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 So thank you.
My
Thank you
pleasure.
all.
Thank you for coming. Peggy, I'm going to go to you next.
I thank you everyone for inviting me and allowing me to be here. I used the phone for the first time to check in, and it's really different zooming on a phone than it is zooming on my laptop. So I have been in and out a fair bit and trying to figure things out. But I just, this was a really valuable session for me. And the whole theme of finding your home, whether it's a physical place on the ground or whether it's a place where you know you're doing the right thing, just seemed to be the theme for today. And I think that's a really beautiful reflection for me to spend a couple of hours reflecting on that today. Was a really wonderful thing to do. So very honored to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for coming, Peggy. Wendy, let me go to you.
Thanks, Christina. Well, thank you, Anne, for the comment. I actually, at Christina's invitation, did graphic record your little chat with Christina. So that was a lot of fun. Just to sort of remind myself that I can still do this and get better at it and keep trying it. And so it turned out better than I expected, but definitely some highlights of things that I want to get back to trying and practicing and that kind of thing. So I managed to draw a caricature of you, which I've never done before. So I don't know if it looks a lot like you, but I tried it. I don't know if I can try showing it to you.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, just a minute. I might have to change.
Yeah, because your
Right
backdrop.
in front of you.
Let's turn off the background here. None.
You could always, if you, I don't know if you can take a shot of it, upload it in the chat too. You could do that. Oh yeah, cool. Oh, there's the rooted and the tornado. Yes,
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
I'm gonna message you if you feel like that. I'd love to receive it.
Sure.
Send you an email.
Yes,
Thank you.
I don't know if it'll make any sense to you, but it was fun. I really, I didn't know what to expect today. So I appreciate, like I said, I appreciate seeing Peggy's face and hearing her voice, and getting to see sort of Christina's work in action in a few different ways than I've seen before, which was really fascinating and very, it's amazing where this takes you, this kind of work. And so to be able to see those different kinds of stories is really neat. So I appreciate, like Peggy said, being able to listen in and be part of that conversation. So I will definitely be back to participate in more, as much to learn from what I'm hearing, as well as, again, just to remind myself this is something I enjoy doing, and I can actually take the time to do it. There's been emails and messages popping up from my team all afternoon, and I've been resisting trying to answer or check things out and just focus for the couple of hours on this, which I find is very difficult to do. But these kinds of things, they're so absorbing that you really need to focus on it. So it's been a good experience that way too, just to remind myself. I'm not sure if it was Peggy that said, just take a couple of hours to spend time doing this kind of thing. It's definitely worth it. So thank you. I look forward to seeing you again.
Great. Yes, and welcome over to the more right brain side of the work, right? So yeah, coming from the fundamentals course and the mastermind, now you're kind of coming over to the other with the coaching and the inquiry work. So lots of ways these skills can be used.
Yeah. What was interesting is when we did the meditation piece, my left side felt very heavy and just like not as relaxed. Like I was slightly out of balance. So I thought that was really quite interesting. So,
yeah. Well, you're welcome back anytime. Thanks for coming. Cassandra, I put you as CF. I changed because you had your email up there, so I renamed you. Anything you want to say to conclude? Thank you for the
I'm
powerful
still
work.
draining stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. Um, but I'm grateful for the time. And you kickstarted by setting the field for me with what's going on with you. And the spirit dolls are absolutely a fabulous idea. I can't wait till you start sharing, or I can order something. Because I think symbols are so important. And the fact that we're here today in this configuration of women, and what came through to me is it's not just working with women of color.
Yeah.
But it's a broader community that needs to work together. That was a new piece for me. Even though I work with different groups, combined groups, but I'm even thinking about Matangi from India and different people. This is our work.
And global, right? Just
Global.
that you're planetary, you're global. Yeah.
It's so freaking huge. And that women have been moved so far away from our place in creation. And now the systems reflect small thinking and limited thinking. And we come from a place of bounty in our thinking and being. And so I'm just trying to put wrap my head around how do we, and I know it's not going to be my head.
Kiss the head. Yeah. Yeah. Nice try, intellect.
Listening, yes.
Back into the embodiment. It was there in the embodiment. Yeah.
But yeah, it's not going to come from the mind. It's going to come from the
But
soul.
the mind can serve it, right? Once it drops
Yes.
enough that it gets into kind of checklisty form and do's and stuff, right? That
And my
logistical side, the mind can run with it once it drops. Yeah.
Right. My mind understands the systems and what happens on this plane to be able to develop something that will last far longer than I will be on the planet. Yes, you can play to whoever that was. I'm on my iPad, which I hate doing Zoom on, but through Christina, I hope to be able to contact you all at some point, or maybe we'll do a women's session and see what's percolating for us to do.
I think we just did one.
Maybe that's a community. Yes,
I think we just did one, but yes you
did.
and I have talked that we'll definitely do more. Cassandra and I know each other through constellation work, so we're wanting to do using that method in particular, right? But that's definitely an easy thing that you and I can do is bring our communities together and start with constellation with these different themes, see what unfolds.
Yes. I think a lot of information will come through the constellation work, as well as the people who show up for it.
Yeah,
will be part of the work.
Remarkable people.
All I can say is thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, that's who we are today on whatever day it is, right? May 17th, something like that. Thank you for coming. So what happens Process Pop-Up wise is my assistant Patricia will turn around the recording and the maps. You're all on, you found your way here, so that means you're on the list for this. If you are Gmail, remember to check your promotions folder or spam folders and stuff, because we tend to end up in Gmail in particular, but other email systems as well. Sometimes it won't make it through to your regular folder, so you might have to go hunting for things, but we do send that email out, so it will be sent to you. Also, this gets put up onto the YouTube channel. Again, the video and the maps, and there's various social media kind of distribution that we do as well, so you'll find it there as well. I will as well take a look at the calendar, and I just do it intuitively when it feels normally 2-3 weeks, something like that. And I try to mix up the days and the times so we can get some variety. for people, because like Anne said, you know, if I do it all in the same day, then sometimes that date doesn't work for people consistently. So I try to mix it up. My schedule is loosening up a little bit too. One of my longer classes is done, so I have a little more flexibility in my schedule. So you'll get notified, and then it's you're welcome to drop by anytime that it works for you. And it will be like we do. We sit together, meditation, whoever comes, and then we take reports, then we meet whatever arises. And it's different every time and also perfect every time. So thank you for making it perfect today.
That's a question.
Mm-hmm.
Would you at least review the video to see to get to assess the weirdness factor? You may not want to post.
You're feeling. It's not weird to me. I like weird.
You may want to assess your weirdness.
No. It's awesome. It's perfect.
Okay.
You're down as CF.
Okay.
You have that's the anonymity factor. Yeah. Stick around if we have to work with that. Oh my God, what did I just do? Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. That's how we'll attract the other weirdos, Cassandra. That's right.
There you go.
Yeah. They're like, give me some of that. I like that. Yay. Yeah. Excellent.
All right.
Okay. Take good care. Bye for now. See you when I next see you. All the best with everything that's unfolding and
Thank
in
you.
the world at large. Yeah.